Good evening and a very warm welcome to Radio and Television Tonga News Package for the hour. Leading our bulletin tonight, Tonga Communication and Cooperation Network connectivity are back online following a service disruption this morning. The New Zealand government commits to fund a 4.8 million Pa'anga Health Partnership Program for Tonga. And the Australian government funds essential maintenance on Tonga Tide and Tsunami Station and Global Navigation Satellite System. We'll have these and more stories later on in the bulletin, including the latest sports news, to wrap up our latest with the update for the hour. Now I'm Wafunato Bola with the stories in detail. The CEO of the Tonga Communication Corporation, TCC, Sione Veikoso, told Radio and Television Tonga News this morning that mobile and landline networks are back online. Veikoso adds some connectivity in the internet has not fully been restored, and the team are currently working on getting it back to normal. This disruption includes all network connections in the entire kingdom. The New Zealand Foreign Affairs Minister Nanaia Mahuta has announced a new program to support Tonga's health service. The New Zealand government is funding a 4.8 million New Zealand dollar partnership program over the next 4 years. Mark Ake tells you more.
The New Zealand government is funding a 4.8 million New Zealand dollar partnership program over the next 4 years. The New Zealand Foreign Minister Nanaia Mahuta said under the partnership, Massey University would help Tonga plan for service needs, train staff and allocate healthcare workers to where they are most needed. She said New Zealand was proud to be a key partner in Tonga's health sector. New Zealand has provided vaccines, testing kits, testing facilities, genomic sequencing and technical support to the country as it tackled the COVID-19 pandemic, and the new deal was particularly important given the massive impact of January's volcanic eruption and tsunami. Mahuta visited both Niue and Tonga last week and used her visit here in Nuku'alofa on Friday to launch New Zealand's new climate finance strategy, Tuia Te Waka Akiwa. The strategy outlines how New Zealand will make decisions on spending the 1.3 billion fund it pledged for the climate finance, ahead of last year's UN Climate Change Conference or COP26, with at least half of which will go to the Pacific. From half of the Pacific's fund, New Zealand commits a new investment of 8 million New Zealand dollars from their finance commitment, which was committed to the Tonga's Climate Change Fund. The minister said she shared details with the Tongan Prime Minister, Honorable Hokaumeliku, about their new contribution of 8 million New Zealand dollars to Tonga's Climate Change Fund as part of their scaled-up climate finance commitment to the community.
Overseas partners are still providing assistance to help Tonga reduce and end the spread of the pandemic in the communities. Last week, the city of Tongkwang in the Guangdong province of China provided 10,000 red test kits to the health ministry to help with their work in tackling the COVID-19 community transmission. These red test kits are to assist the health ministry in ensuring the safety of the public from COVID-19 and contain the spread of COVID-19 as it provides quick and efficient tests. Now that the borders are reopened to international travel and there is no need for MIQ, the Ministry of Health urges incoming passengers to report on the nearest health centre or Viola Hospital for a red test on their third and fifth day since arriving in Tonga. Tongkwang City hopes dispatch of red kits will help Tonga reduce community transmission. The essential maintenance on Tonga's Tide and Tsunami Station and Global Navigation Satellite System is being conducted by a team from the Australian government-funded Climate and Ocean Support Program in the Pacific. They will decommission the old tide coach at Quinsalote Wharf and replace it with a new tide and tsunami station at Muna Wharf. Mark Ake again with the detail.
The team's work on the Tide and Tsunami Station will ensure that this technology can continue to provide up-to-date tidal information every minute to Tonga Meteorological Services, Government of Tonga, BOM, and the SPC. The tidal information is essential to develop the tide charts, track climate change, and understand what happens during severe weather events and disasters like the Hunga'apai tsunami. The data will inform Tongan government's coastal infrastructure planning, especially during disaster recovery, and will enable accurate long-term sea level records for the Pacific region. The Tide and Tsunami Station in Nuku'alofa is one of 14 installed by the Australian government across the Pacific. The Tide Station also works in conjunction with the Global Navigation Satellite Systems, located at the Wuna Wharf and Afo College, which tracks seismic movement of the Earth. This helps to track and understand the natural events which impact Tonga. Meanwhile, COSPPAC, or COSPAC program, is in its second phase and supports 15 Pacific islands to monitor their meteorological data to strengthen our understanding of climate, oceans, and disaster resilience. In this second phase, the FT have provided 28.6 million Australian dollars worth of funding. COSPAC is a partnership between the Australian Bureau of Meteorology, Geoscience Australia, and the Secretariat of the Pacific Community, Secretariat of the Pacific Regional Environment Program, and New Zealand National Institute of Water and Atmospheric Research, who work together with local ministries and counterparts in each country. In Tonga, COSPAC works closely with the Tonga Meteorological Services, or Tonga Met, MEDEC, and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Australian High Commissioner Her Excellency Rachel Moore and First Secretary of Development Shelley Thompson met with the team last week at the Wuna Wharf in Nuku'alofa.
And Siamelia La'atua Faveluloto have been elected as the new Chief Executive Officer for the Tonga Electricity Commission, effective today, Monday, the 22nd of August. La'atua replaces Kilismasi Ma'asi, who have been taking up the role for the past 4 years. Siamelia La'atua had served the government in various ministries, including the diplomatic role of Tonga's ambassador to China in 2011. The Tonga Electricity Commission core principal policy objectives remains to ensure a provision of a safe, continuous, uninterrupted supply of electrical power to Tongan consumers and to ensure that the cost of such electrical power is kept as low as possible. Sport is up next with Mark Ake, proudly sponsored by Pacific Timber and Hardware.
The second round of the Tonga Football Association's Youth Futsal League concluded with Nuku'alofa's under-14 boys team recording the biggest win of the round at the Atele Indoor Stadium last Saturday. Nuku'alofa won, hammered Ahau 2, 15 points to 0. Other games in the under-14 boys division saw Ha'ateho 1 beat Longoteme 2-1, Loto Ha'apai 2 over Havelu 1-0, Waini 1 over Ha'ateho 2, 7-0, Loto Ha'apai 1 over Lapaha 9 points to 1, Folaha over Fa'ahefa 5 points to 1, Veitongo over Ha'ateho 3, 7-0, Lavenga Tonga over Nuku'alofa 2, 6 points to 1, Longolongo over Ha'alalo 2 points to 1, Ha'asini over Ahau 1, 2-0, Nuku over Navutoka 4-1, and Fuamotu beat Isideli Kapeta 4-1 as well. In the under-14 girls division, Lavenga Tonga beat Ha'ateho 2-0, Veitongo over Isideli Kapeta 2 points to 1, and Longolongo over Ahau 2 points to 1. In the under-16 girls division, Loto Ha'apai beat Lapaha 3-0, Isideli Kapeta over Veitongo 3 points to 2, and Nuku'alofa over Lavenga Tonga 2 points to 1. Meanwhile, in the under-16 boys division, Lavenga Tonga beat Ahau 5 points to 2, Longoteme over Nuku 6-0, Longolongo over Fasmoyafi 3 points to 2, Toloa over Fuamotu 4 points to 3, Veitongo over Ha'ateho 2 5-0, Loto Ha'apai over Ha'ateho 1 5 points to 2, Havelo over Homa 3 points to 2, and Nuku'alofa drew with Fa'ahefa at 4-all. Finally, in the under-19 boys division, Loto Ha'apai were the victors over Isideli Kapeta 3 points to 2. Fasmoyafi edged past Ha'asini 3 points to 2. Fuamotu were too good for Veitongo, winning 4-1, and Nuku'alofa won against Lapaha 5-1. Round 3 will commence this week. To Rugby League, Hall back rower Manu Ma'u has been ruled out for the season after sustaining a broken arm. Hall boss Brett Hodgson confirmed that the back rower broke his arm during the club's defeat to Wakefield last Friday. The injury confirms Ma'u has played his final game for the club, having signed a 2-year deal with the Catalans Dragons starting next year. Hodgson said following the loss, it was tough losing Manu, and now it's about trying to finish the season on a high. Manu has represented both New Zealand and Tonga on the international stage, and the Parramatta Eels in the NRL. Moving on, the Cronulla Sharks broke a 14-year hoodoo to secure a top 4 berth in their first season under coaching for Craig Fitzgibbon with a 40-6 defeat of the Sea Eagles at the Four Pines Park on Saturday night. Anthony Joshua says to fight again and plans to return to the ring in December following a second straight loss to Ukrainian Alexander Usyk.
Now the latest with a bulletin issued from one of the staff of the Tonga Meteorological Services from Fuamotu.
Situation A cool east to southeasterly wind flow continues to prevail over Tonga. Forecast for tomorrow for all of Tonga: mainly fine apart from cloudy periods with isolated showers, cooler temperature at nighttime, and light to moderate east to southeasterly winds. The Marine Weather Bulletin for all of Tonga coastal waters: a moderate southeasterly swell and moderate seas of up to 2 meters, east to southeast winds of 15 to 20 knots. Tide prediction: low tide at 10 minutes past 10 p.m. tonight, high tide tomorrow morning at 25 minutes past 4, sunrise tomorrow at 2 minutes to 7 a.m. and moonrise at 10 minutes to 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. 6 days forecast for Nuku'alofa: light to moderate east to southeast winds, mainly fine apart from cloudy periods and scattered showers for Friday. Maximum temperature 25 to 26, minimum 19 to 21, relative humidity ranging from 70 to 90%.
That wraps up this evening's news package, but before we part, here's one final look at today's top stories. TCC's network connectivity are back online following a service disruption this morning. New Zealand commits to fund a 4.8 million health partnership program for Tonga, and the Australian government funds essential maintenance on Tongatapu and Tsunami Station with Global Navigation Satellite System. And that's it for tonight. Thank you for your company. I'm Bafunato Bola. Good evening.